Hey guys, welcome to this session on if else. We are going to look at some if else which remains common in almost all of the programming languages. Uh, we'll look at if else and we'll see that how Python allows us to be more flexible with if else compared to other traditional languages. We would look at uh, something that are exclusive to Python, and I would also suggest you to just Google and see the if else loop in JavaScript and C++ or any other programming languages like R. So in Python, we'll start with just a naked if. So if we define a variable, we already know that Python is going to give it as an integer, string, or something automatically. So we don't have to write the variable type. And then if I say, like for example, here I'm defining Python equal to 20, anaconda equal to 30, rattlesnake is equal to 15, and if Python is less than anaconda, then I would say too many anaconda. Let's try to copy this code and try to break this code and see what's going to happen. So I'm copying this code and I'm creating a new library, section 4 if else 3.6, and I'm going inside, pasting it here and running it. So right now Python is less than anaconda, so it's going to say too many anaconda. This loop was this if was executed. Is Python greater than rattlesnake? Yes. Not many, and this would be rattlesnakes. The world is safe. Is rattlesnake is less than rattlesnake, which is not, because they are equal. So I'm going to make is if rattlesnake is less than Python, uh, or is rattlesnake is if less than anaconda, then the world is anaconda. If I change these numbers, let's see what's going to happen. So if I change this number and Python is 20, anaconda is 5, rattlesnake is 5, my first question is Python less than anaconda? Python is 20, anaconda is 5. The answer is no. Is Python greater than rattlesnake? The answer is true. Is rattlesnake less than anaconda? So rattlesnake is 15, anaconda is 5. The answer is false. So only this part got executed. So I want you to change this with different numbers and play with it and think about it. And let's see an error. How would we create an error? If I forget to put an indenting, it's going to say me indenting error here. That's one error. If I forgot to put a colon, it's going to give me invalid syntax, because after this if I have to put a colon. If I had two lines, I have to make sure that the one that I want to print is inside and not outside. So this is a print that is outside. And if I want to print 2 times, again too many anaconda, then this should be right tag, only then. So if Python is less than anaconda, if I want to print this 2 times, then it should be inside. If I add another tab here, then this gets angry at me. So indentation is important. So I want you to recreate this code, change all these numbers and run this again. This is section 4. It's called else if, and this is your code. And this code I'm putting just below one more variation, and then I'm going to convert this into a code block. Okay, now the other variation is when you have an else, if, and else. When you use else if, you cover all the other situation that might arise when both of them are not true. Like if you are comparing, if you are comparing something and you want to have all other condition, like if x is greater than 10, or if the x is greater than 20, or whatever the remaining option. So then we can use that. So in that case, we write if, else. What I want you to do is copy this code, go here, and try to run it. So if Anaconda is greater than Python, we should take Anaconda. Else if Anaconda is less than Python, we should not take Python. Else we cannot decide. And when do you think this else is going to trigger? This else is going to trigger when Anaconda is equal to Python. Otherwise, this else will never trigger. So my question would be here, when would this else trigger? So in this code, my question would be, when would the else trigger? Search the value for Python and Anaconda. So I'm expecting you to do that. Okay, there are some other ways to write a shortcut if else. When you say x equal to 5 and you want to print non-negative, if x is greater than 0, else negative. This is only in Python, where Python tries to make our life easy and allows us to print this kind of stuff. But if x is minus 5, it's negative. We also did not do print, so that's another beauty. So this is a very fantastic way of writing if else. We use this a lot when we use pandas data frame with apply function and so on. So we use this a lot with data frames and with the apply function, but right now let's not do that. Can we write elif here? And what's going to happen if I do that? Elif x equal to 0, and it's not going to work. I'm going to show you why. Because we don't have more than 2 options, so we might need to Google that. So if I go here and I do Google and I want to write else if Python one line, this is how you would search with. So we want to write with this time, so you want to write else if and else. So you see here, there is no other way. If we have to write that, we can only write else. We cannot write multiple conditions. So if we want to write multiple condition, it's not that easy using here. Then we have to go into lambda or write another condition. So if you want to write in multiple else if, there is no easy way. You have to go this way. So let's write this long way, which is not recommended, but there is no harm in learning that. So I'm copying this. I'm saying I equal to 100, and I say a is equal to 1 if I is less than 100, else 2 if a is greater than 100, else 0. So here I is equal to 1 if I is greater than 0, else 2 if I is greater than 100, else 0. So this time becomes 0. Let's change this. So a equal to 1 if I is less than 50, else 2 if I is greater than 50. I'm going to write this again. Else 3 if I is greater than 150, else 0. So I is 100. So if I is greater than 100, it's 2. If I is greater than 160, you see, else 2 if I is greater than, and it's not able to go to the other part, which is else 3. It's still here, I greater than 0. So you see, it gets complicated. So this is not recommended when you want to write longer sentence. So we're going to use only this one. Let's play a game and let's see if you can solve this question for me. So x equal to 6, y equal to 7. If x greater than 5, x is equal to x plus 1. This is similar as x equal to x plus 1, and there is it. So is x greater, if x is greater than 5, which it is, x would become x plus 1 and y would become 8. So what is x now? X is 7. And what is y now? Y is 8. Right? So this is how it would work. If x is greater than 5, these blocks would get implemented, which does not mean that x is equal to 5. So x is not 5 plus 1, 6. You have to always remember x would be whatever x is. That loop condition is not assigning a new value. Sometimes in a hurry you would assign new values. And you have to also remember that when you have this as a long one, then you can write at most this 1 if else is greater than 0, and this, so that when x is minus 5, it gives me 1. When x is plus 5, it still gives me 1. At x equal to 50, it gives me 0. But x equal to 51, it gives me 2. So this is one code that you can play. This code is similar to this code. So we are trying to extend the output, trying to extend the if else in one line to its limit. So it's not recommended. If it's too long, most of the time I would write the whole block. Okay, let's keep playing. Let's see if you can understand this code. So I'm saying equal to 5, b equal to 7, c equal to 8, d equal to 4. If a is less than b, and this straight big line, it's called a pipe operator. If a is less than b or c is greater than 0, then we'll write made it. So is a less than b? Yes. 5 is less than 7. Is c greater than d? Yes. 8 is greater than d. Then we say made equal to 0. If any one of these condition is true, then it's going to work. So now c is not greater than 0, but this is. So it works. Now what do you think we have to do to make it AND? So you have to use the AND sign. And then it does not work because both of them has to be true. Both of them has to be true, only then it works. So pipe and AND operator. Let's try to stretch this more. What about OR? Still work. What about AND? Still work. So you can have either of these variation. So in this code, I try to break it and put OR, and it worked. So after each of these exercises, we practice to say these things by words, so which I expect you to do. Okay, thank you for watching.